It could happen to you, and you may be next. This is the second segment of the Drive-In Asylum double feature, and we just got finished watching Shocking Dark. Yeah. Shocking Dark. If you say it like they say it in the trailer.
There's a lot of shocking at the end of it, so I can see where the name came from.
They didn't lie.
No, there's a lot of shocking.
It's not like they promised you something that they didn't deliver. You know?
My wife already made me laugh with their comment.
Who made you laugh?
What Becca said. She said it just proved to me. She asked me if Italy was a third world country during this movie, because it really looks like it. I mean, I have a lot of questions, and in fact, Bill, I wrote down my questions for you about the movie and the people in the chat.
It looks like we're pretty split on this one. Some people didn't.
One, how old is Sarah? The young.
I said she's about 18.
Yeah, they gave her pigtails, and they're like, surely she's Newt's age. She does not appear. She appears short and pigtails, but that does not equal young.
Wait, was the little girl's name Sarah?
Oh, whoever the little girl's name is, not Newt. Samantha, maybe was her name.
I thought Sarah was the Ripley.
Yeah, maybe Samantha is her name.
Hamilton stand-in.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looked like she was all of about 18 years old.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a Peter Bark thing she had going on there.
Yeah. She just seemed a little. I agree with Paul. Why did they name her Salamander so it was like Newt? That would be a much better name. If you're gonna rip something off, go all in. Or Buggy. Her name was Bug. You're a little bug girl.
It really was gratuitous, and the things that they took directly from Aliens. Let's run down some. Oh wait, you had questions. So
yeah, unless you want to go, I can wait.
No. What's the second question? Did we adequately address the first question?
Yes, I think so. 2, in the future, why do they have rotary phones? Like, well, let's accept that we're in the future and there are rotary phones and old CRTs everywhere. Like, all the video cameras appear to be from. There's time travel. They've invented time travel. They've invented a way to flood Venice, but they cannot invent new telephones or new video cameras.
I heard actual touch tones.
Yeah.
When they were entering a code into one of those high-tech doors, those futuristic doors that they used to have 20 years ago in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was from somebody's wild imagination. I loved it.
3. Where did they shoot this movie? A swimming pool? Underneath bleachers at a basketball game?
It was definitely a gymnasium.
Yeah. It feels like it feels like a gymnasium. It feels like whenever you're stuck under those bleachers and there's all those pipes and stuff in a basketball game, and you're like, these bleachers could come back at us at any minute and squash us, adding extra danger.
I still have no clue what the plot of this film was, and this is like the third time I've seen it, because I can't pay attention to the actual plot because I keep thinking about the plot of Aliens.
It's real like, close, so I think it's Aliens.
It's interfering.
And keep in mind, I love the movie, so these questions are to help me with my love of the movie. Question 4. Why did the bad guys make a videotape presentation of their plan? Like, nobody wanted to cover that up? Like, they had like a 3-minute long presentation of that girl doing the video presentation, talking about how they used algae, which, again, algae would not create more pollution. Like, okay, like I don't want to be the scientist guy.
Details, baby, details.
I mean, I hate anytime scientists talk about movies, like that one dude that always, who's that one scientist that always like talks about? Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I want to punch that dude in the face. That's every year, that's my goal. 2022 goal, knock that dude the fuck out. But I hate whenever he's like, a meteor really would. We get it. It's a fucking movie. I mean, I said, how can someone shoot a SPAS-12 shotgun one-handed in this? Yet I had no problem with a giant monster coming up out of the sewers. Anyway, why would they?
The monster part seems a lot more realistic.
It does. And then the other thing here is what I love is that the same lady that did the presentation of the bad guy's plan also did the presentation for the video for the Time Pod. So the Tubular Corporation, like you know what, you're really good. She literally, they didn't have another cut for her. She says and screws up the presentation of the plan numerous times. Like she's off script a couple times.
She got one take and that's it.
I mean, Clint Eastwood doesn't one take. Either you're Clint Eastwood or Ed Wood. There's really no difference in my world. I'd rather watch an Ed Wood movie. Next question. Bill brought this up. The time cube, is it Demon Drop? Or like one of those rides you get in and you sit in a box and it drops you down. Demon Drop's the Cedar Point one. But there's other ones.
Yeah. They're all the same.
Twilight
it's just take you up in a big box.
Terror, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't there like an Addams Family thing now?
Yeah, that's the old like Twilight Zone one. Now it's Addams
Twilight Zone. That's right.
Yeah, but it's Addams Family now, I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
I'm happy that Jeff taught me about red tide. See, I obviously I went to art school and I don't know anything about science, even though I work in the medical field. So I appreciate it. This is why you don't let me do the science part of the show.
It didn't quite sound right to me either. Truthfully, when I heard it, but whatever.
This is more just a language question.
That's a really obsessive thing to complain about when you're talking about Shocking Dark.
Well, this one's a good one, I think. What if is it still a uniform if they don't match?
Yes. Why would you even ask that question, Sam Panico?
I really wish, not to be the last drive-in, but I really wish we came back and just imagine that I have Shocking Dark cosplay on and that I have a headphone on and big shoulder pads and wrist things. And then Becca's yelling at me, like calling me a wop like Greta does to the guy.
Greta is fucking amazing in this movie. She's like, well, what are you, a bunch of pussies? It's like the first thing she says when they show her.
Pussies, I'm back and I'm kicking ass.
Yeah, no one's paying attention to her.
And then
like no one's even looking at her. There are people standing with their back to her. Like, yeah. Like she just called everybody out in this room and threw down the gauntlet, and no one's even listening to her. Then she pulls a gun on somebody.
Yeah, and she pulls and also she comes up to the Asian, they do the nunchucks, and she goes, "I hope the ghost of Bruce Lee kicks your ass."
Yeah. She never saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, she has no idea. But yeah, that scene is really the best part for her. And you said it, like she gets killed way too early. She should have been the final girl in this movie.
You don't kill Jaretta that early in the film.
No.
Rosemary must go on to the very end.
Her hair is great in this too. I really like the shorter hair. Next question.
Yeah, she looks good with either. I did like her hooker hair in Demons.
Yeah.
I like that. The director liked it too.
Way too young too. Like she's older and like she looks great for her age. Like she looks awesome.
The director obviously loved that hair that she had in Demons because there were all those great shots of it, like when she's huddling in the cubicle and her friend. Like I don't know why does her friend even go in there like that and block off? She blocks off the entrance while she's doing it. I'm like, oh, now you're trapped in there with a demon. Poor Rosemary.
I mean, if you're watching the movie, you know not to put on the mask, and she's like, I really want to put on. It would be a good idea to put on this mask. And meanwhile, like Michelle Suave is like, you should put on the mask. Anyway, how many people get thrown off shit in this movie? Like my favorite one is at the end when the guy gets thrown back in normal time. When he gets thrown in the water, there's just one more.
No, you're right. There were a lot of other people thrown off of things. I was just thinking about falling from a building, but there were other places you could fall from in this movie too.
Oh, it's wonderful. If this movie is set in the year 2000, is this now a period drama and not a science fiction movie?
Wow. Boom. Like,
Yeah,
how do you even address that?
right.
I don't know. They didn't know it wasn't period when they made it.
Yeah,
So
is the world of this movie better than ours in 2000? I mean, Venice. I'm never going to go. I mean, I'd like to go to Venice, but I mean, it feels like you know everybody's out and about. Nobody's distancing. There's
Mark's been there.
yeah.
Mark was there. I wasn't. I didn't get to go.
Oh,
It was it was he came back, full of excitement over having visited Venice. So I'm sure it's a magical place.
uh, do you think that Sam Fuller, the evil robot of the Tubular Corporation, was named for director Sam Fuller, or is that just an accident?
Do you think?
Yeah. How and like I wrote this before Mike Justice brought it up. How does the robotic version of Sam Fuller sound less robotic than the human version of Sam Fuller? Like once he becomes a robot, he's really good at talking.
Yeah, it was the voices in this film, because in the Aliens films there's always that one voice, that like Mother on
Yeah,
the Nostromo, like, you now have 1 minute to abandon ship, and she sounded the same in Aliens,
yeah.
but this one doesn't sound quite right. Like that voice that comes on, she sounds more like she like broke into the radio station and took over while the DJ was in the bathroom or something. She was like, hey, now I'm on the radio now, and like, you have 10 minutes to get away.
It sounds like the one person that they never want to do the closing store announcements. We're like, like if you've ever been in a store, like I was in a Walmart a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, we're going to close in 47 minutes. Like that's a really weird time cue to tell us when the store is closing.
Why has nobody made Mother a voice on your GPS? Or why can't you get Mother as your Alexa at home?
I would love it.
Mother,
Mother,
turn the living room lights back on. Mother.
uh, was the time control device really just a thing to get your booth at a restaurant?
Wait, what? I don't get that.
It looks like whenever you get the thing, they give you that little puck. Whenever you go to a restaurant,
Okay.
it looked just like one.
Like one of those coasters that you can't really use as a coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. Now they just text you.
Yeah. I don't want you. And then they do that so they have your number. And then a couple weeks later, they're like, hey, come on back. Here's 3% off.
They sell all those numbers to those robocall people.
And robocall. Well, which I want to say the effects in it, this actual makeup effects of the gore and the ruined face are pretty good in this movie. I like that he's T1000 with the look of a T800. But
yeah,
finally, when they come back in time and she says, boy, we have a lot of work to do. Did they create a time paradox? Because, like, wouldn't you assume that they're alive in this timeline already? And have they, or, I mean, this goes into the theories of how time travel works. Like, do you create an alternate timeline where you're not in, or what does it do? But
yeah. What happens to all that stuff that happened to you if you go back in time? Like, how could that stuff have not happened?
Yeah. And my last question, if these guys were wearing Fitbits, how many steps do you think the cast did during this movie? Because there's more running than an episode of Scooby-Doo in this.
It was very active. I respect the cast of this film. I mean, there was a lot of physical stuff for them to do.
If you're going to
to what end?
Oh, if you're going to wear a rollerblading outfit, you better run. You better work. Cover girl.
Give it a twirl. Yeah, it was. I can't say that this is a bad movie, even though I know it's not a great movie, but I'm really entertained by Shocking Dark.
And the end of it is the last 10 minutes of it are really beyond entertaining. Like people, like Mike said, that guy gets pie-faced and thrown in a river in the canal, and then the guy explodes and there's lightning. The lightning lasts a long time. The shocking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not bad. And it's like a really rickety dark ride in a carnival.
Yeah.
And they pull you past all this shitty stuff, And then like at the very end of it, like good shit starts happening. Like you go down a dip in the track and stuff, and like all of a sudden you're like outside the ride or something. It's like that. All the good stuff is just like loaded at the end.
I love too that Sam Fuller. I love saying that he's Sam Fuller. By the way, Sam Fuller, the robot, has a zit.
You should say it a couple more times on this segment.
That he has a zit, and like none of the makeup crew was like, maybe we should take his zit out. No, we're gonna just give him a robot eye. No one will notice that he has a zit. But anyway, I love this movie. I love how ridiculous it is. I laughed especially Bill heard me laughing during the canal push-off scene. Like I said to you, I am having so much fun right now because that last couple of minutes are just great. And I love that they get to the future and they're so happy that they're in the future. She sees that kid with the remote control car, and like it's like this happy moment, the music happy, and then his just foot smashes the car.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's good.
Cameron was obviously inspired by it.
Yeah. And Darren, it's
I
cool.
didn't mean
you
that.
Like it, you didn't like it. No one's gonna like everything the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame anybody for saying that it's a shitty movie because I don't know. It's the first time you see it, I had really high expectations for it, and I just needed to just let go of it. I think now I really like it.
I mean, I love Becca, and she just said, "No, he's right. It's a shitty movie," and walked into the room. Is it better than his zombie movies? Arguably, but
I like this a lot. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I really hate Night of the Zombies.
Yeah,
I
love it.
Oh, that I know you love it, and I'm sure it's my problem. Okay, but I just was really disappointed by Night of the Zombies when I was a kid, and I would have been similarly disappointed by this.
Nora liked it. That's amazing. I thought that she would certainly hate this.
So, I thought Nora was gonna talk shit on this movie.
Yeah, this is why we've never showed Your Hunter from the Future, because I'm protective of that movie as one as a small child. So if anyone made fun of it too much, I probably would cry. And
Darren hated it.
It's okay. I mean, I can't really think too many movies. I have no movies. But if anybody wants any other Bruno Recos, reach out. There's a lot. There's a lot. I've watched every one of them, and they're all wonderful. And his nunsploitation ones are real good too, and his Nazi exploitation ones are wild too. He did. If there was a genre to get into, he did it. If there was money to be made somewhere, he was like, you know what, we can make that.
Thanks everybody for coming back. By the way, it's nice to see everyone hanging out again in the second segment. Gigi's there.
Yep.
Hi, Gigi. And remember to click like on the video and share if you really like us.
Yeah, Sean brought RoboWar is another really good one. Well, I mean, it's another good Bruno Mattei movie. That if you like Predator, and you're like, but what if Predator had a robot in it? Then yes, that would be one I bring up. But it also has Red Brown, who is Your Hunter from the Future. I'm looking through my other list. Also, I can hit you with another couple good ones if you'd like, Bill.
Yes, please do.
I like Gates of Hell, Hell of the Living Dead, Virus, Night of the Zombies, Zombie Creeping Flesh is good. Violence in a Women's Prison is real good. The Other Hell is awesome. Someone brought up in the chat.
The Other Hell I like.
Yeah, I really like The Other Hell. That's a movie that really goes for it. They're like, you know what?
It's so you.
Yeah. Like, is a baby going to get eaten in this movie? Yeah, it's going to get eaten in this movie. Also, Severin found the copy of it in the walls of the church where it was made. Like, the church where it was made finally got a reel of it and was so upset about it, they consecrated it inside a wall. So that should maybe tell you. But yeah, if you think about like that's probably a movie I like. Obviously, Rats Night of Terror. I think we can figure out that I dig that. Zombie 3, which he worked on, and that'll be coming up at the drive-in. If you guys are coming to the drive-in, and I really dig his Rambo ripoffs. Both Strike Commando movies are awesome. Double Target, Cop Game, and Born to Fight. They're all great in their own ways. And all ludicrous. Any movies that go to the Philippines and blow up huts, really, I love. And they're like, hey, we're in Vietnam, but really we're in the Philippines. those are pretty wonderful. Cruel Jaws, we already showed Cruel Jaws. I like Snuff Killer a lot. That's hard to find, but also AKA Snuff Trap. That's pretty good. Madness isn't too bad, except it completely rips off a Blade in the Dark. And then his last ones are The Jail, The Woman's Hell, Zombies the Beginning, The Tomb, and In the Land of the Cannibals. And those are all really good. And I might like those movies a lot more for certain reasons. So, but I really dig those. So, they say talent borrows and genius steals. So I guess really Bruno probably was a genius. If anybody wants links, I have a whole page on my site to all the different reviews. And some alternative names, which I always enjoy for him, are Jordan Matthews, Jimmy Mathias, Stefan Oblowski, Vincent Dawn is the name he used for probably the most, Bob Hunter, George Roussel, Michael Cardoso, David Graham. This is his fancy one. Pierre LeBlanc is his fancy one. Frank Clocks, Henrik Montgomery, William Snyder, Martin Miller, David Hunt, and sometimes he's uncredited, like on Night Killer, and he shot all the insert shots in Jess Franco's 99 Women. So in case you wondered who shot those scenes, it doesn't seem to match. That would be Bruno. Anywho, thank you for indulging.
See, that's the kind of shit he did.
Yeah.
So, our second movie tonight, the second feature.
I have not seen this, so I'm super excited about this one.
That is very exciting to me. I'm so glad you're going to be watching this for the first time. You're not going to believe it. Like, it's one of those movies. I can't believe that this movie exists. It's it was titled Alien 2, and it was a rush job. The director Ciro Ippolito. Am I pronouncing his name correctly?
I believe so, yeah.
You're the expert.
Why would you ask me? But yes.
I'm joking. Alien 2. And 20th Century Fox was pissed. And, obviously it didn't come out anywhere other than Italy, I think, under that title, Alien 2.
I remember seeing it in Starlog and being
maybe
like, what?
You did?
I remember they had a list of Aliens movies coming, because the other one is, what's the TV movie one that they claimed was a sequel?
Alien Contamination.
No, but the TV movie one that's on the oil rig.
Oh, Intruder Within.
Yeah, they're like, that's like they had claimed in Starlog that was a sequel to Alien.
It totally wasn't.
No.
But yeah, it was 20th Century Fox tried to stop him from using that title, and they lost because somebody pointed out that there was a novel in the 30s that was titled Alien. So I guess the point was, how could they say like, oh, you got that from us? And your movie also happens to be about aliens that burst out of little round objects and go down people's faces and blah, 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 blah. I don't know how they got away with this.
And you know what? I was both alternatively obsessed with Alien and afraid of it as a kid. Mm-hmm. Because the xenomorph is a very frightening looking thing. Like it looks alien. I mean, if any creature, the Star Wars characters are like, hey, there's a werewolf wearing a flight suit. You know what I mean? Like they're still kind of human for the most part. And I remember seeing the alien figure in a Kroger, which in the toy department of a Kroger. I was like, whoa! Like when I saw the big tall Kenner one, I was like, I don't know if I want that. And by the time I made up my mind that I did want it, it had been pulled from shelves.
Don't you hate that?
Oh.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Wow.
I had one of those action figures. I begged and begged and begged for it, and finally somebody got it for me because, it bombed as a toy. You were talking about the Alien action figure, right?
Yeah.
From Kenner.
Yeah.
It bombed as a toy because it was an R-rated movie and kids couldn't see it. So it was scary. So a lot of people didn't want it, and they ended up in like bargain bins for a couple of bucks. And I think back to that, I'm like, I would just love to buy every single one of those. It was pretty awesome. I had it for a long time, and to be honest, I think I moved at some point when I was like 18 years old or something, and I just tossed it. And I can't even imagine that I threw that in the trash. But you also have to keep in mind, I played with mine all the time. It was not under a glass dome in my house. Like I always had that out
I have
every
an
day.
image in my head of a young Bill hugging one in bed. Like it's like laying in your arm in bed. Like, I love
That
it.
isn't too far from the truth.
Yeah. I had the Kenner ones, the smaller ones that they made for when Aliens came out, when they made like all the different characters.
Yeah.
And I like that they brought back all the characters who got killed and made new versions of them. Like it didn't look anything like the actors because they didn't have the rights to make the likenesses. So it's like Ripley kind of didn't really look like Sigourney Weaver.
She never looked enough like Sigourney Weaver, at least for my liking.
Yeah.
We don't have an ad gallery for Alien 2, but I do have one ad to show you. This is amazing. I didn't find this myself. I found this on Google. So I don't know who originally posted this. But yeah, so I mean, when I said earlier that it was a rush job, what I really meant is that the director, Ciro Ippolito, wanted to get this out as before 20th Century Fox could do anything to block it. He wanted it to look like to appear as if this was a legitimate sequel to that movie, which just blows my mind, especially after you see the resulting picture. That really does not it does not take place in outer space. It takes place on Earth. But instead of paying to make a movie in space, which would have made the budget really high, instead they set it under the ground in a cave. And that's where, oh, hi, Sam's belly.
Hello.
So, yeah, Alien 2. This is the only ad that I could dig up. So,
Alien 2 on Earth.
Some people say that they saw this on television.
Really?
A couple people have told me that they saw this movie on TV really late one night, and I can't imagine that. Like, I don't know how this would have ended up on American television.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe cable, or maybe they had. I don't know. I've never seen it though, so I'm beyond jazzed to see it.
I'm pretty sure it's going to blow your mind. And I know you have an amazing drink for this second cocktail.
And this is Cocktail 2 Solitera, Cocktail on Earth. So,
I have all this stuff for this too, so I'm going to be making.
So we're going to start. We're going to layer this one. My layered drinks usually fall apart, but whatever. So we're going to.
Oh yeah.
My Midori is hard to open, though. I will say that.
Yeah, you got to clean the top, or else it'll get glued shut. You need a wrench to open it.
It's like when your NyQuil gets like that.
If you want it as bad as I want it.
Oh, right. Is Midori just NyQuil that tastes better?
No. It's worse than NyQuil.
All right. NyQuil will help you get your Z's, though. All right, we're going to start with an ounce of Midori, and then we're going to do an ounce of Irish cream. Pretty exciting.
The only appropriate shot glass I had is this Friday the 13th one that I found. I forget who gave this to me. Oh, I ruined it already.
I did too.
Oh no, it separates. We're good.
Oh wow, it looks like alien. I'm gonna once this goes in, I'm gonna put the camera above it.
Ooh.
All right, the next part. The next part is going to be an ounce of vodka. Here we go.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh boy, this is going to get crazy. All right. And then finally, we're going to float on some rum on top of this. Boy, get ready, kids. This is going to make the third segment inherently really great. This is a high-powered vodka. This is a Cruzan wine.
Wait a minute. I'm not prepared here with. Oh, there it is.
Hurricane proof.
Yeah, you know what, Sam? I have to admit, I'm just using regular Kraken for this
That's fine.
because I couldn't find that kind of rum that you were talking about.
It's hard to find. The higher potency rums are really difficult to find now, and a lot of the rum factories were damaged in a hurricane last year. So that's why this is called hurricane proof, because Cruzan had one of the few places that survived. So there we go. So
Oh, what monster could have done this?
what could they have done? So Jeff's like, light it on fire. I'm not allowed to light drinks on fire anymore, I've been told. I was like, someone said, you're not allowed to do that, and I'm not even allowed to have lighters anymore, even though I'm looking around for one, and I'm kind of like kept in the house. So anyway, here's to Alien 2 on Earth. Here's the shot.
I really think you're gonna love it. I think it's gonna blow your Solitaire. So cheers.
Cheers. Pazuzu. Hold on.
That's really good.
Oh, it cleared my sinuses out. One more.
It sure did.
One more burst.
I never thought you'd get me to put Midori and Bailey's in the same shot.
Who knew?
But I gotta say, that was not as gross as I thought it was gonna be.
Wow. A ringing endorsement.
Yeah. I know that I sound so enthusiastic about it. I really do like it.
I thought that drink was gonna suck, but you know what? It wasn't horrible. That's Bell's review.
Alien 2 Solitaire, Sam.
Yeah.
This is the first time you've seen it. I'm really excited.
I am, and you know what? It's one of those movies I've been saving, and it feels like this is the time to be done saving it.
Yeah.
What shirt are you wearing tonight? A Living Dead Weekend shirt.
Yeah. How about that?
They announced some of the first guests for this year's.
Oh, really? Who?
Tony Todd and most of the cast of the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Tom
I'm super
Towles.
excited.
Wait, Tom Towles is dead, isn't he?
Yeah, but almost everybody that's alive is invited. Tony Todd was the big announcement this week.
I forgot Tom had passed away.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. And it's at Monroeville Mall. And you know what? It's like for all the when I was young, people always said, there's nothing to do in Pittsburgh. But you know what? We're really lucky. Between the drive-in and all the other stuff that happens here, we get a lot more than we should.
There's stuff to do in Pittsburgh.
There totally is. If only I knew someone that worked for the cultural district that told me about things that happened in Pittsburgh.
All right. So I also have a drawing to do. And I've lost my little papers.
Yeah, hey, we should ask if anybody else wants to be part of the drawing. They should probably say they would like to be part of it now. Right?
Yeah, if you didn't request in the first segment to be in the drawing, now's the time for the raffle we're going to do. We're going to give away an issue of the brand new Drive-In Asylum. And then we're going to do it again on the third segment. So if you don't win this one, you could win that one. And make sure you come back.
Yeah. Beth and Tim would like to be in.
Beth Waldron.
And
okay. Beth Waldron. Who else, Sam?
Tim Dorch.
Tim Dorch.
Yeah, Tim.
Got it.
I think a lot of people might have the zine, but hey, you know what? If you can always enter and win and give one to a friend and then get them into it and have them start buying it, right?
Yeah. Now you're thinking. Okay, so let's see. Nora also wants to be entered.
Oh. Hey, Bill, while you're entering names, I want to tell you I found something cool on YouTube this week. Someone has Captain Pitt's last episode posted on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Just like the last segment in his farewell. I'll have to find it. There's a guy that posted, I think whoever posted it is weirdly obsessed with certain news people because it's like multiple stories of like 80s correspondents on KDKA, just them. And then
Wow.
in the middle of this, it's Captain Pitt. Because I was on a hunt for Lou Papin commercials this week. Don't ask me why. I get obsessed sometimes. And I found and I saw that and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
You know, Captain Pitt is Ghost Host.
That's why, yeah. And also Captain Chesapeake was his other name, yeah. So,
yeah. Captain Chesapeake, it depended on what market you saw him in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was anywhere other than Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Did you see a couple other people said Matt wants to be entered?
Yeah, I got Matthew.
Okay.
And Dan Sitch, I got in the first segment.
Okay, great.
And Nora is entered. Okay, so yeah, I think I got everybody.
Jeff has anxiety from this, the way you're managing it. I don't.
Oh, Jeffrey, it's only an issue of Drive-In Asylum. Okay. All right, so the winner is like the Oscars. Matt Bussell. Congratulations, Matt. Make sure you DM me your address and I will mail you an issue of the brand new Drive-In Asylum. But hey, you know, if you didn't win, it's only $5.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cheap. I mean, I put a lot of work into designing this damn thing.
Yeah.
And there are people like eBay used to put up I used to sell it on eBay. And you know, they have this feature in there. They want all their auctions to be, they want all their listings to be like, oh, you can make an offer on it. And I'm like, I don't want to take less than that's almost what it costs me to make and like, you know, maintain and you know, get the materials to do this. Like, I can't take less than that.
I
less
love
than
the
$5.
challenge. Everybody's congratulating Matt. That's really nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, the other thing on this channel, Bill, that you may enjoy is that it has all of the Jerry Lewis telethon moments with Chili Billy across a couple years. And there's one from 81 where they have a disco set up and they're allowing people to dance all night. So like, hey, if you're out at the bars in Pittsburgh, they just close at 2. You can come dance at our disco all night. Like, who would, in 1981 would let a bunch of coked up people come to the MDMA?
Well, who on earth would do something like that?
Baby, there was coke in Pittsburgh in 1981. I was 9. We did it all the time. Oh, yeah. Just straight up rails all the time in Catholic school. It was crazy. But
you got it from the nuns, right?
The nuns and I did. They had their little crucifixes and they opened it. It was just like the Killer Nun we watched with Gigi. I mean, I lived it. I was like a little kid in that movie.
I still have not gotten over the image of her throwing that old lady's dentures on the ground and stomping on them.
You know what?
Disgusting.
I'm going to tell you, whenever I'm sad, I think about her stepping on those dentures, and it really, I advise it. Like, this is my psychological advice to you. Have some mental, like that mental room that you go into, do you know what I mean? To take you out of things when bad things happen, and think about those dentures getting stomped on.
It's just so random. Like, what made her do that? It's like a mommy dearest type thing, you know. Like, I told you no wire hangers. Like, she sees those dentures, and plus, this is what she's supposed to do. You know, isn't she supposed to be? Well, she's not supposed to be possessed in it, is she?
No, she's just supposed to be. She's supposed to be nuts. It doesn't get into the nutsploitation. Either gets into the druggy world of it, or it gets into the devil has come into our church, right?
No dentures at the table. What's dentures doing in a glass on this table when I told you no dentures in a glass on the table ever?
I would like to make a movie where she crosses over with Mummy Dearest, where they're like, they take her daughter to be in that convent, and she runs into her, and the mom calls like, "This nun is crazy," and she's like, "I have to I want to kind of protect Christina from this nun, but I also want to meet someone that's as nutty as me."
Yeah.
Kickstarter. Let's make this movie. Let's make this movie. I mean,
well, Christina ended up in a Catholic monastery.
What is that one say? I'm going to tell.
I am going to tell. Oh, that's Dawn Jeffries, who's in Tourist Trap.
Yep.
She's the first victim in Tourist Trap, the one that's already in the cellar.
I can just it behind me, yes. I'm going to tell.
I am going to tell. So yeah, wow. What were we talking about?
It's not a Gigi. It's not a supercut. It's a whole movie. Like we're gonna make it, and I mean, I think everybody still alive. I mean, would they like to be in it? Who can say? Killer Nun versus Mummy Dearest. PK-23. It comes out after. First, we get Stink Bug, and then the long gestating Stink Bug. It's stuck in developmental hell. By that I mean I haven't worked on it.
It's one of those remix films that we were talking about earlier.
It really is. It is. It's going to be like Rattlers too. We're just going to use footage from the first two movies and then sneak our little section in. Because that worked for $1 million corporation, though. All right, we should really start because this is third segment starting already.
I know. This is like total third segment vibes.
I think when you do a shot filled with that much alcohol, you're going to get third segment vibes, right?
Okay. So yeah, I encourage everybody to watch Alien 2 on YouTube because there would be no commercials there. So, but you know, and I don't even think it's streaming. It might be on Tubi, but anyway, watch it on YouTube. It's in HD too, so you're gonna love it. Come back after the film. We'll be here to help you work through your feelings after viewing Alien 2 on Earth, the Drive-In Asylum double feature. Turn the cooling unit back on, Mother. Mother, you bitch.
Yeah.